Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV time, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, 9 to 10. And of course, don't forget the repeat on Saturdays, also from 9 to 10 in the morning. This is the show where we talk about what happens in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, and very exciting. We're seeing a lot of friendlies at the moment, and of course the fixtures are sort of almost there, and so we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. Big thanks to our partners on board with Cape Rugby TV. Hisense, our official technical partner. MCAM 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Dulux Maitland at number 30 Kuberg Road, and of course Score Energy Drinks supporting Cape Rugby TV. A little bit later in the year, you will of course see the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens, but during the year you'll see lots of jerseys with the Score logo on it. Let me introduce you to my panel this evening. Labib Levy. Labib, nice to have you back.
It's good to be back, JP. It feels a bit of deja vu. I've seen you yesterday, I've seen you today.
Yeah, that was quite lekker yesterday. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll fill you in on what Labib and I were up to yesterday. Faisal Felton, welcome back, Vali.
Hi, yes, JP, it's good to be back. I think it's long overdue, and I'm glad to be back here as well.
Is that your license car registration disc you've got in front of you?
Yes.
Pass his learners.
Got my learners.
Pass his learners.
I was just wondering if those are your show notes. You know, everyone's got their show notes, and I thought, okay, well, that's very official now. Yeah, Labib, yesterday we did a little bit of Facebook Live, some of the live streaming, and we were talking about the coaching. That was quite a lot of fun. A few questions came in there for you.
Yeah, there were a few questions, and I had a look last night and this morning on it, and I'll probably respond later on some of those questions.
Yeah.
And it's also nice to see people operating on those mediums.
Yeah. Folks, by the way, if you are watching the show and you're hearing lots of noise outside, unfortunately, I think the whole of Cape Town can't do much about that because there's helicopters and jets flying over at the moment. So it's not only over your house. By the time it comes over the studio, about a second later, it's probably over your house also. So if there's any noise, please excuse us. It is a little bit noisy. Coming up on the show tonight, we're going to take a look at the highlights in the friendly between Hands and Hearts and Goodwood. The guys were out playing at the Goodwood grounds over the weekend. We'll speak to Goodwood coach Mark Viljoen, as well as the captain from Goodwood, Ulrich Johannes. Peter Links is the head coach at Hands and Hearts, and Alistair Frasenberg, captain at Hands and Hearts. So it'll be exciting speaking to them. And then, of course, we went out to watch Collegians in their pre-season training. So exciting catching up with the guys from the Col. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the field is in very good condition there. We're not sure what's going to happen there, but we'll also be speaking to and Villages. We also went out to Villages for their pre-season training there. We'll speak to head coach at Collegians, Nasir Jappi, Collegians captain Suleiman Khan. He's been on the show with us before. At Villages, we're going to speak to Kevin van Rensburg and their wing Keenan Jacobs. And then a little bit later during the course of the show, we'll catch up with DHL Stormers centre and former Springbok Sevens player Ruan Nel. Always exciting catching up with the Western Province Rugby players. And a little bit later during the course of the show, I've got a couple of sets of double tickets to go and watch DHL Stormers up against the Lions at Newlands this coming weekend. So stay tuned. It's a jam-packed show, lots of action. Let's get the ball rolling. We'll take a look at the match between Hands and Hearts and Goodwood. We'll see the first half first, and then we'll catch up, of course, with Mark Viljoen and Ulrich Johannes. Right, welcome back everybody. Hands and Hearts 43-17 in the first half there against Goodwood. One of our very first players to receive a man of the match was John Lee Klaassen. I see Labib in the last dying seconds there of the first half highlights. John Lee was already showing his stuff again.
Yeah, he actually showed a good turn of pace in the end. But just to quickly analyze the game, you could see that there's still a little bit of rustiness in both teams. You know, in some of the passing, the guys are like on the clean, but you can also see that the guys were having fun. And I'm sure both coaches would have learned a lot of where they are at this stage of the season. But Hands and Hearts looking pretty impressive. Some good individuals there that are showing the thing. Then I think at this point they'll be a tough team to beat in the division.
You think it's got something to do perhaps with the fact that they have been very active? They've been having sevens competitions and they've been having social events. I don't know, that makes a bit of a gelling difference.
No, it plays a role. People sometimes underestimate the value of just the teamwork, the team camaraderie, and that just makes them play more for the badge.
Yeah. Faisal, your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think as the people said, it's early stages. I think from Goodwood sides, it's better now than when the season starts. Go back to the drawing board, work in terms of where you need to, to improve on.
Yeah.
But I think also, at this stage, a lot of the clubs, haven't started with the friendlies as yet. So I think from Goodwood side and Hands and Hearts, you've got sort of that 1 week upper edge of advantage over the other guys. But, with a lot of the clubs, the big thing is match fitness and that, and I think with club rugby and that that's where it counts, is the match fitness. Guys, they want to come for conditioning. Pre-season. It's difficult to get them out there, but if you talk about a game, they're there on the Saturday, they want to play.
Yeah, well, we started talking about that at the end of last year already. We said you take about 2 weeks off and then you got to hit the gym. You got to start with the functional fitness, you got to start keeping the strength up, you got to eat properly, all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think also from Goodwood side, going up and playing now, you're playing Super League B, higher league. It's a lot more challenging. You don't know what to expect. I think from their side as well, you need to go back to the drawing board, and from Hands and Hearts, who's seasoned competitor in Super League B and that there, you can take a lot from their game. It's going to be a long season.
All right. Well, let's catch up with let's take a quick look at the second half, and then we'll give you the final score. Right, there we go. That was, of course, the second half. Hands and Hearts playing in Aikendal, 67-22 over Goodwood. But Labib, you can't really meet too much into that, eh?
No, you can't read much into it at this stage of the season, JP. I think they were just playing a nice loose game, and Goodwood were probably, I mean, if it had been a league game, they probably would have changed their tactics. So by keeping it more tighter, etc. But
well, they've only got about 6 weeks left to change their tactics. I mean, Goodwood is going to have to work on, from looking at that, I can see a defensive structure that's almost non-existent.
Yeah, well, they've got time. Like we said earlier, if this had been the first league game, I would have been worried, but they've got time.
Yeah.
So the coach can maybe change his planning listen, let's put more in defense, maybe even a little bit more in fitness, and then take it from there.
But it's good that the guys are getting together now. I mean, you've got to give kudos, credit to Goodwood and to Hands and Hearts for getting out there. They've got these friendlies. We're not seeing everybody do friendlies, and they need to do more friendlies to get game time, Farley?
Yeah, no, definitely, Jokes. I mean, looking at our list in terms of requests for friendlies, it's very few. Obviously, this weekend it's picking up a bit as we get closer now to March. The friendlies are starting to step up. Obviously, from Goodwood and Hands and Hearts, it's good being out in the park, having that sort of advantage. As you said earlier, I don't think you can take anything from it. I think from the club side, there's still a lot of uncertainty as players. We're trying combinations. As you said, the players, are also trying and testing as to determine where they want to play for the season. So
all right, we're going to take an ad break. Hopefully we can mention some of those friendlies still on the show. Remember, folks, I'm going to give you an opportunity to win yourself a set of double tickets to go and watch, a couple of sets of double tickets to go and watch the DHL Stormers up against the Lions this weekend. So stay tuned. There's a couple of mechanisms. There's competitions. So you could be going to Newlands this weekend. We'll take an ad break. But remember, before we go to the break, MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of the N1 and Durban Road. They've got all your pharmaceutical needs. They're supported at Cape Town, Cape Rugby TV. They also supported to Western Province Rugby. They supply the guys at the High Performance Centre there. MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Free parking, open 24 hours a day. You don't need much more than that. We'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll be catching up with some of the coaches and captains and players from Hands and Hearts and Goodwood. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Right, as I mentioned before the break, you can win yourself a set of double tickets to go and watch the DHL Stormers. So make sure that you have your mobile phone in your hand right now, because I'm going to give you a competition mechanism into how to win the tickets. We managed to catch up with Goodwood's captain, Ulrich Johannes.
Ja, en is een vanuit daar eerste game, wedstrijd fikset nog niet op waar we hard moeten zien. Maar ons week vorentoe voor die next game en dan kijken ons waar ons. Ja, definitief. Als je nou mooi kijkt, boykies, baie jong boykies bij ons geweest. Bij Hands and Hearts zit een beetje baie experience. So hij is wel al voor ons uit te willen, maar ons gaat werken aan die young boys, dat moet gaan komen. Ja, ze weten als de young boys op je aanpak komen, dan kan hulle competitive met experience. Maar zoals ik zei, eerste game samen, donderdag voor de eerste keer samen oefenen. Maar ons kijken hierna waar ons gaan. Ja, zoals de coach gezegd heeft voor ons donderdag. Het is maar zo voor hem iets, noem het trials, om te kijken of ze combinaties voor wie kan en wie kan niet. Maar ons kijken maar, ja niet definitief, als ze hard oefenen. En net zoals ik zei, die young boys, als ze nodig experience krijgen, nou in die friendlies, dan kan ons een step up maken.
Yes, a very tough day, but considering we just threw the guys together on a Thursday in their teams, and it's pretty much our trials. We don't play against each other, we play against other teams, and tough day at the office. Yeah, everybody loves to win, but like you say, we're looking at combinations, and that's part of our process at the moment. So we put those pieces together and we go forward. Yes, what I've seen today is some guys stuck their hands up, different combinations stood out, so we'll just, like I said, put those things forward and put those combinations together and just take one step at a time. Yeah, 23rd Triathlon Rugby Day, and then we've got, I'll just take one game at a time, to be honest. I don't look too far into the season. One game at a time, we take it from there. Yes, it's my plan to get them ready. Steady incline.
Right, there we go, folks. Ulrich Johannes. Before we get to Hands and Hearts captains and coaches, Ulrich Johannes, of course, the captain at Goodwood, and Mark Viljoen, the coach at Goodwood. Labib, listening to Mark Viljoen there, he's talking about it's a process, they're getting the friendlies out the way. It's pretty much what we were saying.
100%. Everything that Faisal actually mentioned earlier, is going through a process, as he mentioned. They're trying combinations, giving maybe second team players opportunity, playing players out of position, so he doesn't look too stressed at this point in time. And it's also interesting to see that he's obviously a new coach at the club. I don't think he was a coach last year, so for him he's doing a lot of learning and getting new information of who's what and who's who in the zoo.
Yeah, Jerome was telling us last week that Mark's quite an experienced coach, so hopefully Goodwood's in good, safe hands. Yeah.
He's committed.
Faisal, going to Ulrich here, I see last year at the Sevens, he was of course the Tygerberg Sevens captain.
Yeah, I think it's good to see. I mean, I think also the exposure that the guys are getting, some of the guys not making it, maybe at, some of the clubs, first teams, now moving on and playing elsewhere and getting that exposure. I think that's what we want. Where, in terms of spreading,
Spreading the
challenge,
love.
spreading
Spreading
the love. But I think there's always a good relationship over the years between Tygerberg and Goodwood. From my days as well, in terms of doing the registrations, we see that movement. So it's good to see the guys, going, but they always end up back.
Right, folks, before we go to our hands and hearts, captains and coaches, and we're going to be speaking to Peter Links, who's of course head coach at Hands and Hearts, and Alistair Frasenberg, one of my absolute favorite players. He's a real man of experience. We're going to speak to him a little bit later. I've got a set of double tickets to give away. I'm going to give away another set a little bit later during the course of the show, but now this set of double tickets, I'm going to give away to somebody that applies to be a referee at Western Province Rugby. Western Province Rugby are currently recruiting referees, male and female. Right, so for those of you who don't know, there is an income generation option for those of you that maybe become a referee. You can earn up to R1,000 a week, right? But to enter, to apply, of course, there's a referee's course this weekend, right? So if you want to win yourself a set of double tickets, I'm going to give a set of double tickets to one person that goes for the referee's course and actually attends the referee's course this coming Saturday at Newlands starting at 8 o'clock. We've got a little poster here for you to see. Right, there we go, folks. You can see the poster up here. Of course, the 23rd of February is the first course. That's this coming Saturday from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And then again on the 2nd of March. So they'll be doing the box smart courses, the referees practice and assistant referees courses, on-field instruction, insight on what it takes to be a match official, refereeing tips, and more. So there's a whole lot going there. The course is free, right? We need more referees. We need more refs. It's free. You can earn yourself up to R1,000 a week if you are a referee at Western Province. It also is a great way to help your club, because your club then maybe doesn't. Faisal, am I right? A club doesn't have to then pay because they can use their own referees?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do is promote, obviously, in terms of trying to get referees. But I think the big thing is for the clubs, the benefit is that, friendly matches, we utilize, your referees for some of the games. But I think one of the advantages is also having a standby referee at matches. One of the concerns of clubs is transport costs. If matches don't take place, it becomes a cost factor. So with having a standby referee when it comes to particularly your third, second, or under-20s, you've got a referee that's there.
Does it save the club money if you've got referees from your club? Or am I misunderstanding it?
It does save your club money, or at least in long run will save the club money when it comes to your friendlies. Okay. So, for instance, Hansen was playing against Goodwood today, the second or third team. You could use possibly your own referee, so it will save you a bit of money in that day.
So one way or the other, the first referee's course is this coming Saturday. Starts at 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock at Newlands. SMS the word referee to 33090. Let's take another look at that poster. Just SMS the word referee to 33090, and you can win yourself a set of double tickets to go to watch the DHL Stormers play against the Lions this coming weekend. All right, so these tickets will be waiting for one lucky referee entrant on Saturday at Newlands. Right, we're going to leave it at that. Let's take a catch up now with the Hands and Hearts coach Peter Links.
Ja, definitief. Ons eerste wedstrijd. Ik denk enige coach zal tevreden wees als hij zo'n telling krijgt voor 11 kinderspan wat spelen in Superliga B. Ons hierdie jaar in Superliga C. So ek is 100% tevreden, maar ek kan sê ek stap weg as 'n tevrede coach oor die dag se spel. Ten spyte van die telling, was daar baie positiewe, baie negatiewe, en ek dink ons kan net terugkom en verbeter op die negatiewe. Maar as coach is ek baie gelukkig. Ja, definitief. Ons het die meeste spelers wat weg was van die klub was vandag terug. Ons dink ons het gespeel, as ons kyk na 2018 was daar omtrent seker 12 nuwe spelers vandag in die span. So ons kyk na kombinasies, eerste vriendskaplike wedstryd. So die volgende wedstryd kyk ons na nuwe kombinasies totdat jy kom by 'n van wat jy weet, dis jou eerste 15 en dis jou reserves. So dit was 'n goeie eye-opener vir ons as coaches. So ek is tevrede. Ons speel volgende week speel ons Mamre. Ons het 5 vriendskaplike wedstryde waarvan 4 by die huis is en 1 is weg, die Derby teen Scottsdene. So ons vat hom maar wedstryd vir wedstryd, maar as ek sê ons is tevrede met die eerste wedstryd. Ja, ek dink as ons kyk na die honger, die ouens het gewys, hulle was honger geweest. Goeie paar goeie drie, ek dink ons het 11-3 gedruk teenoor 2 of 3. So So dat sê vir my die ouens die oefening het goed gedoen. Die ouens het goed gedoen. Afronding was baie goed geweest. Soos ek sê, die positiewe oorskry die negatiewe, maar ons kom Dinsdag aan terug en ons kyk na ons volgende hekkie wat Mamre is.
Ja, het was 'n lekker dag vir ons boys. As weer lekker om terug by die huis te wees. Om my hands en haar rugby kultuur weer terug te kry. En die boys het gedoen. Ek dink die ouens was lus vir rugby. En ons het op die veld gewys en die skoolbord het dit gewys. Ja, ek dink ons het baie ouens wat baie senior ouens in die span en ek dink as jy hy tipe karakter het, kan dit net positief vorentoe gaan. Ek dink ons het ons standaard gestel vir dag self en ek dink ouens gaat kom vir ons, maar ons sal reg wees vir dit. Ja, dit is altyd lekker om sulke jong ouetjies in die span te hê. Ek bedoel ons is nie meer waar ons moet wees nie, maar as nog 'n bietjie juice in die tank, so ons wat nog kan, ons vat dit vorentoe en hulle finish dit vir ons. Ja, ons sien uit daarna as bietjie werk nog vir die next 2-3 weke. Maar ons vat dit game vir game. Ja, ek dink ons sal reg wees vir Super League C. Ons wil hier 'n jaar vertoef en dan volgende jaar weer terug in Super League B. En met die tipe boys wat ons vandag het, ons kan dit doen. Ek glo en vertrou aan elkeen van die ouens.
Alistair Fraserberg, he says there's not big juice in the tank. What I'm liking that I'm hearing there's a combination, Labib, between experience and youth coming through the ranks. And what he was saying there's, hulle vat die bal vorentoe en laat die ander mense finish. That's a nice strategy. It's a nice game plan there.
Yeah. In any good team will have a good experience in the packs. Like they say, hulle die hare paarde in die span. You know, so they do all the dirty work, the hard work, and I think they're also feeding off the youngsters. You know, the youngsters gives them energy. They have that I don't care attitude, and they just play. And so the youngsters are also learning from them. You know, because they know all the tricks of the trade.
Right, folks, let's quickly take a look at some of the friendly results that took place over the weekend. Kylemore played against St. George's. 43-19 result there for Kylemore over St. George's. Hands and Hearts, of course, 67-22 over Goodwood. And then Villiersdorp went down to Belleville, 48 points to 0. So Franz Hoek, of course, against Allendale, but Faisal, Allendale had a great season last year. So I think Allendale is going to be a challenge this year for any team they play against.
Yeah, no, definitely, JP. But I think that still, again, it boils down to the first, friendly fixture. You can really not take anything from it, but I think it's good, to get the guys going, motivated. I think from Allendale's side, being part of the Paarl region, playing against Franschhoek, who's a team that, did very well last season. I think they fared very well. But I mean, if you look at all the scores, you can see it's all high-scoring games. It's throwing the ball around, not much defense. I think it's the early stages. Can't really take anything from it.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're about to take a break. But the good news that I've just received from Faisal Felton is that I can give away now not just one set of double tickets, but 25 sets of double tickets for the referees that will be attending the course on Saturday, the Western Province Rugby Referees course. Starts at 8 o'clock, finishes at 12 o'clock at noon. It's a 4-hour course. All you need to do to enter that referees course is SMS the word referee to 33090, all right? And someone from Province will then get in touch with you about making sure that you attend the course. So SMS in the word referee to 33090, and you'll be in the mix to go to the course. So maybe you can earn yourself up to R1,000 on that. And so to get the tickets, you have to have finished the tickets. So 12 o'clock, out of the folks that SMS'd in today, at 12 o'clock on Saturday, 25 of those of you that SMS'd in today, drawn out of a hat, will receive a set of double tickets to go and watch the DHL Stormers up against the Lions, the Emirates Lions at Newlands this coming weekend. That's 25 referees on the course going to be able to attend the game on Saturday. I think it's a fantastic investment there, Faisal, that you're giving this reward to 25 of our SMS entrants at the refs course on Saturday.
Yeah, no, JP, I think you can see how serious we are in terms of recruitment of referees. We're in dire needs. That's why I'm again appealing to the clubs out there. We need referees. We've had support from referees from clubs over the years, but I think this year in particular we're going to need a lot more support in terms of the recruitment of referees. So we're hoping that clubs and people there outside that's interested, that would like to take up the offer, that they come forward, and from our side, we'll do the training. We will, will assist and help in terms of giving you, sort of the pathway. All that you need to do is pitch up.
Oh, I think it's absolutely fantastic. We're desperate for referees, Labib.
Yeah, I just think also coaches should actually use it as a coaching tool, because there's so many new laws coming, and also refs can ref on their training sessions and take the pressure of the coaches. So the players can also apply the rules of the game and maybe do help with post-match analysis, even help out to manage a ref and also with the discipline.
I just think that, and I hope, and I'm sure that we're going to see a slightly different thing, is that if the community can get behind the referee, then we will see more referees. And one must understand that even referees at an amateur level are amateur. It's as simple as that. The referees we see at an amateur space are not Super Rugby referees. They're not international rugby. They're not TV referees. And the community really needs to treat the referees with that sort of support. I think that the referees out there, they have the same challenges that a player has, a coach has, and it can be nerve-wracking. So it would be great to see people go to the referee, especially like, for example, in their first game, and say, we know it's going to be a challenge. Good luck for the game. Have a bit of fun.
Have fun,
I mean, you can't take some of the stuff too seriously, especially at a school level. I mean, if you're teaching, imagine refereeing the teeny tots, the under 5s or the under 10-year-olds. You can't go jumping up and down the referee there. It has to be a community social experience. So support the referee, please.
I think from our side, JP, it's the mindset that we want to change as well. Not only from the players, but also the supporters, the administrators, the people, that we understand everybody, the passion for club rugby is there on a Saturday. Everybody comes out to enjoy, Saturday afternoon. And I think, from the union side, we're also looking at the administrators. We're trying to close a gap as well between administrators, players, and also from the referee side, that communication. Where referees feel welcome. They offer their time on a Saturday. Without them, there is no game. That's the reality. And I think we need to now start, supporting and backing the referees.
Well, I think it's a great initiative. I'm glad to see that we're doing this, call it recruitment drive. Right, that's a reminder then, folks, if you have SMS'd in and you are going on the course, I'm going to give, for those of you that have SMS'd in, 25 sets of double tickets, right? That means you and your partner are going to go watch the Lions up against the DHL Stormers get a hiding at Newlands on Saturday. We'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, as I mentioned earlier on, we did get out pre-season to go and watch the Collegians guys as well as Villagers. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Let's get straight into it now. We are, of course, joined on the show with Labib Levy as the head of coaching and education at Western Province Rugby, as well as Faisal Felton, the general manager for club rugby, amateur rugby manager.
Senior manager.
Senior manager. You guys have got all these titles I never know. Assistant coach, conditioning assistant to the assistant coach, line out jumping coach, technical analysis, head of talent identification. I don't know how you keep up with it all. Collegians pre-season, and I believe the field is not looking too great at the Col or at Lentegeur. Let's take a look at the catch up with the guys there. We also caught up with Nasir Jappi, is the brother of Rifat. Rifat's, of course, conditioning coach now at the Stormers, and that's fantastic. Back in a sec. Collegians training on a rather dusty patch there. Faisal, maybe you can give us a little bit of. Hang on, before we talk about this, let's talk about Collegians, the rugby side. Labib, Collegians can be a dangerous outfit on the best on any day of the week.
Yeah, you know, Collegians, for people that don't know, they were always regarded as the darlings of the track back in the day, and they've always played a good brand of rugby. Their colours is red, white, and blue. They've always tried to play like the French, and like the French, they can be dangerous on any day against any team. You can be how big, you can have what name, but if they've
almost got French colours.
Yeah.
Now that we think about it, they've almost got French colours.
If they rock up on the day, you can be who they will.
Super League B. We seemed. It seems like Super League. Although I have spoken about Super League C this year, I think there's going to be a big, interesting challenge. But Super League B, Faisal, is always tough, because they've got teams that have come down from Super League A. They've just learnt a lot of experience there. And then you've got Super League C guys that have been promoted, and they've obviously done very well. And then you've got your middle of the track guys who've got experience in Super League B. I mean, Collegians is now in Super League B. It's going to be a tough league, but if anyone's going to perform, well, Collegians got a good shot at it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I say to anybody, Super League B is probably the best league to be playing in terms of strength. Everybody's more or less on par. There's no sort of outstanding teams or teams that run away with it. I think last year, if you look at the logs, it showed, team number 1 and team number 6, there was literally, I think, 3 or 4 points. Up until the last game, we didn't know who the winner was. Yeah. And I think if you look over the years, Super League B, I think if you ask a lot of those clubs which league they would like to play in, a lot of them will say Super League B. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah, especially
last year the guys were calling Super League B the League of Death. Anyway, folks, we of course had to mix around a little bit so we could manage to catch up with the coaches and captains because of location. And at the moment, we were chasing teams, we're chasing coaches, we're chasing players, just to try and profile the clubs and profile the players as much as we can. We managed to speak to Nasir Jappi. Of course, they were at a different venue.
Sure, it's been amazing. It's been tough. It's been a roller coaster. We started on the 7th of January actually with our pre-season training. So the numbers have not been so great, but also due to the fact of our fields and our field condition and stuff like that, man. And you know, a lot of our players with the Cape Town Minstrels also. So hopefully now, when the Cape Town Minstrels is done, we'll probably get some numbers in. But with saying that, we still have quite a couple of guys, quite a number of guys doing the pre-season and actually putting the hard yards in, which I'm very grateful for. We are born ready, so. We just need to, like I said, we just need to work on our discipline. Discipline cost us almost bottom of the log. Luckily, fortunately we ended mid-table, which was successful for us because, like I said, we had lots of youngsters coming through the ranks that never played first team, that never got the opportunity to play first team, and they showed that they can do it. And we just need to believe in the players that we have here, build on them and work hard, and just I'm sure we'll have a better season come 2019.
Labib, me just listening to that's breaking my heart. We had to interview Nasir there at Mandalay on a cricket field. We saw what the field looked like at Collegians, at Lenteghier, I think on the second field, obviously, as well. I mean, it's really sad that the facilities aren't sorted out.
No, it's crazy, man. If you look at that field, it looks like they're training on the beach with a bit of grass being sprinkled on. But it just shows the passion those guys have. I mean, in the first club, there was about 30 people training in those conditions.
Jeez, but I mean, how long must this club struggle? You know, I remember 10 years ago coming to meetings and we were fighting for lights. Yeah. If we weren't fighting for lights, we were fighting. This is not something that's happened in the last year. But Collegians hasn't had this struggle only now recently. This is a struggle that's been going on for a long time. Because every single year I'm listening to a different story. Either the lights are not working, or the change rooms, taps and basins have been broken, or the fence has been broken down. Now we've got water problems. I mean, my heart goes out to the guys at the call. Yeah, Faisal, I don't know if you want to come
Yeah,
in.
no, I think JP, I think this is the type of discussions that we're having with the city, and we've met with the city in terms of, in terms of the area heads and facility manager, in terms of the fields and the concerns that we have. I think, last year was a very tough season for us, having to start our season out in June. I think from rugby side, we made that commitment in terms of support. Again, we're starting the season off and our fields are still looking the same. I think from the city side, they're trying really hard. We have engaged in terms of trying to look at boreholes. Obviously, the finance is a bit of a challenge. But I think from collegiate side, one of the biggest factors also has been the theft in terms of, cables being stolen and facilities vandalized. I think the city has also now started realizing, we moved away from security, and I think what we've also now started preaching to clubs is that we need to start taking ownership of those facilities and managing those facilities, from the sports side. Otherwise,
I appreciate all that. I appreciate everything that you're saying, but I keep asking myself, does the city understand that they've got a social responsibility? I mean, can they not just take a little bit of, I understand finance is a problem. If security, how difficult is it for a city manager to say, right, we are going to make a decision to invest in this community. We're not going to invest in everything there. We haven't got the budget. But the one thing we know is that if we sort out a clubhouse and if we sort out a field, it's going to have knock-over positive effects. I don't know, Labib, if you want to come in there, but I keep thinking, fix the facility and you end up fixing the community.
That's exactly the facility there. People go to the field, they'll train, etc. That community's got other issues at the moment, social, gangsters, etc.
But my point is, you talk about other issues. My point is, if there's a sports facility, it helps reduce the other social evils in the area.
100%. So you have a better option, which is rugby or sport versus going to the other side.
Yeah, no, I think from my side, JP, that's Western Cape Sports Council. We need to speak to local. I think from the city side, we need facilities. I mean, it's shown that if you don't have these facilities, the question is, what do these guys do on a Saturday? What else is there to do?
I mean, how difficult is it for the city to take $1 million? I'm just using a ballpark figure. Take $1 million and say, right, I'm going to invest in security that is fail-safe. I'm going to invest in a borehole, link it to whatever water solution they need. There's clever people there. Find a solution. I'm going to invest in a security company that's going to be there 24/7. Take $1 million. What's $1 million to the city to make sure that a community, not just a sport field for 15. We're not talking about investing in 15 players. We're talking about investing in a sport facility that will have ripple effects for the community all over the place. Folks, I can get very passionate about this and get very carried away on this community support. Let's go and focus on something a little bit more positive. He was with us, of course, last year. Suleiman Khan, he came and joined us on the captain's table. Let's catch up with the Collegians captain.
Look, it's been a little bit tough for the couple of weeks. Tonight is probably the first night that we're actually doing a bit of ball skills. So the previous weeks were just mainly just to do with fitness and a little bit of body conditioning. But now you can see the boys is actually smiling and they're happy because we actually have the ball in our hands. At the moment we have currently no lights on the field. And also our field, the condition of our field is very poor. Mostly stones and stuff like that and sand. So we're kind of happy that we actually have a little bit of grass and also light. And I think the boys appreciate what we got here. And that's why I think even if we must train till 9:30, 9:45 at night, I think the boys is happy with that. Instead of training until sunset, and then obviously we need to leave at that time. If I look at the friendlies that we got, it's Tigerberg, it's Falls Bay, it's Primroses. I mean, those are Super League A clubs. So our main focus there is just to improve, maybe test their defense. We know we're going to struggle with the attack. Obviously they're stronger guys, but obviously we're looking to score at least 1 or 2 or 3 tries against them. I think that would be a plus for us going into our season in the Super League B, which is just a little bit more faster than the Super A. But I think we're ready. I think this year we can do a top 4, if not top 6.
Folks, Score energy drinks, of course, on board with Cape Rugby TV. For those of you that want to win yourself a case of Score, a whole case of Score, and all you need to do is SMS the word SCORE to 33090. 33090 will put you in the mix to win a case of Score energy drinks. And this week, Nassif Abrams walks away with this week with a set of double tickets, at least not a set of double tickets. Nassif walks away this week as the winner of the Score Energy Drinks. Now this week, if you enter with and send the SMS word SCORE to 33090, I'm going to give away a set of double tickets to the lucky Score winner. So not only do you walk away with a case of Score, you also walk away with a set of double tickets to go and watch the DHL Stormers take on the Emirates Lions at Newlands this coming weekend. We'll take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll have an opportunity to catch up with the captains and coaches from Villages, as well as take a look at their pre-season training. Back in a sec. Right, folks, welcome back. We're, of course, very pushed for time here on the show, and we still want to catch up with Ruan Nel, the centre of the DHL Stormers. Let's first take a look now at the Villages and their pre-season training. Folks, as I mentioned, we were pre-season training. I think, Labib, unless you have any, did you spot anything interesting there at Villages?
Yeah, I was quite happy with the numbers. There seems to be some nice breakdown drills happening there. Nice to see some water in the background as well. The field is in good condition. Look, they actually, you can see the coaches have been doing a bit of homework there.
Yeah. So, talking about the coaches, let's catch up with them now. They've got a new head coach there, Kevin van Rensburg.
Yeah, yes, very good. Must be honest, very good. We're in a good space, good environment. Our facilities in great shape. Our field is in great shape. We've got a lot of, probably about 99% of the core of the team that's here from last year. And I think the nice thing and encouraging part is that there is a lot of new faces and a new breed and a lot of youngsters coming through. So you know, Villages will be making a noise. You know, in a good way. Just to have a knocking on your door to put you under pressure, because a player gets into a comfort zone and then he almost gets complacent. So if there's a youngster or a stalwart knocking on his door, he's got to open it, or he's got to pick up his game. So it's a healthy situation, and that should be the situation right throughout, from school rugby to club rugby to Springbok rugby. Now I can tell you one thing. I'm not here to just keep the log up or to just fill in numbers. I'm not sending any sort of message. We just here, and we're under the radar. And you know what? Friendlies will come up. We've got good preparation. We are heading off of a camp this weekend to Saggystone at Robertson. So that's good preparation for us. We've got 3 good friendlies planned, and which means nothing. And then when we hit the league, we'll be running.
Kevin van Rensburg, new head coach at Villages, seems, as Labib has just said, seems very motivated. Lots of planning, lots of strategy. And not there to hold the log up, flying under the radar. Unfortunately, once you've been on TV, you're not flying under the radar anymore, because now you're on TV and the radar is completely gone. And you are now national news all across the world, in fact, with all our YouTube and Facebook uploads, because remember, we upload and share all our content. We managed to speak to Villages wing Keenan Jacobs, and then we'll take a ad break and catch up with Ruan Nel, Stormers DHL Centre. DHL Stormers, Centre at the DHL Stormers. Back in a sec.
It's very enjoyable. We've been practicing hard. The team is coming nicely together. got a nice brotherhood that we've built up from last season, so we're looking forward to the next season. Got lots of new faces actually this year, surprisingly, but also the old faces. It's actually nice to see some new old faces. Yeah, Super League A is not a easy league to play in, but it's very enjoyable, and the boys have learnt a lot from last season, obviously being the season before in the Super League B, so we just had to adapt last season, but it was very enjoyable playing against one of the lots of top clubs around the country, but we're excited for the season. Coach Kevin's a brilliant coach. He's bringing a whole new game plan to the game this season, and very excited to be coaching under him. He's a very humble guy, comes from lots of coaching history in Durban, and he's a very genuine guy, open guy. Really looking forward to the season, excited.
Well, welcome back, folks. We're just talking about the fact that Cape Rugby TV is now 9 years old, or 9 years young. Can you believe that, Faisal?
Wow.
9 years of TV for Club Rugby.
No, JP, it seemed like just the other day. I can't believe it. And I think, when we started and how we started, I would never have thought, it would be possible. And we've come a long way.
And I'll tell you something, 90% of what we've done is because of your involvement. We haven't discussed that. We started on the radio stuff, we started with a website and all those days, and the TV, you and Herman Abrams and a lot of other support.
Yeah, I think, we must be thankful also to have somebody from your side as well that's also a bit, passionate, and I think that's what drives us, from, you said, the radio, moving over to TV. I think the passion is there, and I think also from the club side, the passion is there, and that's what keeps it going with the content and that.
I think 10 years, next year it'll be 10 years, we've got to do a braai or a potjie kos or a cocktail party or a reunion or something.
Or do a clip to see how young you looked.
10-year challenge.
I was looking at some of those old Good Hope FM interviews, in fact, where you guys would come on the Good Hope FM show. Even those days, we were ahead of our time. We were filming, no one else was doing it, we were filming the interviews in the radio. And that's how, in fact, how Cape Rugby came about. Because we had the Club Rugby radio show, and then some of us just said, well, I said, get a video camera and we just film the radio interview. And then we'll put that on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, those days, YouTube and Facebook wasn't as popular as it is now. And then eventually when we started the Cape Rugby show, we just said, well, what's the difference between the one and the other? And let's just go live.
Let's go live. I think that's where, Western Province Rugby, Club Rugby, and that's the thing. We're willing to try. And I think if it's in the best interest of the sport, and if it's going to help and it's going to assist, why not? Let's do it.
Well, it's great. And now the whole world is talking about your success in the world of club rugby, and that you're the only club rugby TV show in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
In the world. Anyway, folks, it's talking about rugby. Of course, the DHL Stormers are up against the Lions at Newlands this coming weekend. And we managed to catch up with them at their practice session and spoke to Ruan Nel, former Springbok Sevens and current DHL Stormers centre.
Eerst het nooit gegaan soos ons beplan het nie. Jy weet, ek dink eerstens ons was nie op vorm gewees nie, en tweedens ek dink die bulle het baie goed, jy weet, hulle plan nagekom. So ja, mens kan net bou van hier af. Jy weet, ek dink hierdie goeders vat ongewoonlik bietjie tyd. Jy weet, soos jy gesê het, teen Boland, jy weet, het amper gevoel asof ons lekker gegel het as 'n span saam. So ja, ek dink weet op die dag was ons maar net heeltemal af gewees van ons game af. Jy weet, soos ek gesê, ek dink die bulle het 'n baie goeie plan gehad dat ons verras op een of twee aspekte van die wedstryd. Maar ja, ek sal nie sê kombinasies is 'n probleem nie. Ek dink maar net op die dag het ons maar net nie, jy weet, gearriveer vir die wedstryd nie. Gelukkig is die kompetisie van so 'n aard, jy weet, die mense week in en week uit nou 'n geleentheid kry. So ek sê net vanoggend, jy weet, daar's 15 spanne of 14 spanne wat speel, beteken 7 van hulle verloor op 'n naweek. So ongelukkig was ons 'n deel van die eerste 7 gewees. Maar ja, jy weet, dit is 'n nuwe week, nuwe uitdagings. Die leeu's gaan ook nie maklik wees nie, maar ek glo daarom ons geleer het ons foute uit, en die ouens is baie opgewonde om vir die eerste keer hierdie jaar 'n bietjie op Nieuwland te speel. Jy weet, ek dink mense tuiskade bring 'n hele nuwe dimensie van energie vir 'n mens, jy weet, want ek dink ook begin dit maar 'n bietjie moeilik raak, as mens begin moeg raak. Jy weet, familie, vriende is altyd om jou, so definitief altyd iets waarna ons uitsien. En ja, ek dink al hierdie goeders gaan dit maak vir een lekker wedstryd Saterdag. Jy weet, hulle kom altyd uit hulle nommers, hulle ondersteun ons altyd die volle. Jy weet, selfs wanneer daar nie goed was nie, ek onthou 2 jaar terug toe die Karibeker gewen het, die eerste ronde het nie so lekker gegaan nie, so jy weet, hulle was nog steeds aan hulle nommers, so het nog steeds ondersteun, so jy weet, dis altyd 'n baie groot pluspunt vir ons, jy weet, en iets waarna ons altyd uitsien as ons op Nieuweland speel. Ja, en ons geniet dit vreeslik.
Right, folks, always a challenge being a player and keeping up to the standards of the fans. Yes, things didn't go quite their way on Saturday, but I'm sure that they will now find a rhythm. and get into the swing of things. So we're wishing that the DHL Stormers and the Emirates Lions have a good game on Saturday. We all go out and enjoy that. And talking about the challenges, it's a challenge for the referees out there at the moment. Not only on the field, we want everybody to support the referees, but also at Western Province Rugby to get more referees. So as I mentioned earlier on, you can sign up for this weekend's coming referees courses from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. SMS the word referee to 33090. And out of those that complete the course, I'm going to give away 25 sets of double tickets courtesy of Western Province. So SMS the word referee to 33090. Go and do the course, and you might be one of those 25 that we draw out of the SMSs that walks away with a set of double tickets to go and watch the DHL Stormers up against the Lions. Labib, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, JP. It was lekker.
That was fantastic, yeah. And Faisal, great having you on the show.
No, always good being here, JP. Yeah, hopefully I'll be back again soon.
Definitely, we're looking forward. In fact, we didn't even get around to speaking about the fixtures and the leagues and all that, so we'll have to wait until next week.
No, we're looking forward to it, eh?
Yeah, that's it. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.